good afternoon or good morning, depending where everybody is. My name is Mamoon Chowdhury. Thank you, Ron, for the kind introduction. I'm from a solution architect from AWS, and I would love to spend the next 35 minutes or so sharing with you how you could build an intelligence into your enterprise applications.
By the way, Mamoon, we should keep it to about 25 if possible.
25. Okay, I shall talk fast. Thank you, Ron. Okay, so I would love to share with you today how you can build intelligence into your enterprise applications. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what intelligence specifically means. As you may have guessed, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI and machine learning. And if you are not experts in either of those domains, that is fantastic, because this is the right presentation for you, and you're in definitely in the right place. All right, so see if I can advance my slide. All right, here we go. So at AWS, we've been doing AI and machine learning for a really long time. And if you're not familiar with either of those terms, that's quite okay. Across the world, across industries, we are helping enterprises deploy AI and machine learning to do a number of key things. One, have a much more intimate and direct conversation with their end customers. It shouldn't matter if you have 100 customers or 100 million customers. Can you make each one of those customers feel like you are in tune with their needs, that you understand what it is they are expecting, that you know how to delight them, and that you can have a really intimate conversation with them if things don't quite go to plan. So we help customers use machine learning to do things like chatbots and virtual assistants, to personalize and do product recommendations, content moderation. And also, a lot of enterprises use machine learning for better and faster decision making. Maybe they're doing fraud detection. Maybe they want to forecast how many widgets should they be stocking in their warehouse over the winter. What kind of sales should they be expecting in Q1 of next year? Are there particular anomalies on their factory floor or in financial transactions that they're processing? Improving business operations, looking for areas of optimization, optimizing existing workflows, optimizing decisions that are very often done manually. And very often we find that enterprises, once they appreciate all of the things that AI and machine learning can do for you, they develop entirely new products or entirely new services. We now have a whole set of companies building autonomous vehicles and drones, for example, which were not possible without machine learning. And so across industries, across the globe, we're finding that machine learning can really do a lot to transform enterprises, to make them more efficient and to elevate the experience that they're delivering to their customers as well. There are many, many thousands of customers that are using AWS for AI and machine learning today. This is a little bit of an eyesight chart, but I'm sure there may be a few icons here that you recognize. Comcast and Verizon, for example, Slack, and many others here. Zillow is another one that are using AI and machine learning to really transform the way that they're doing business. Just to pick on a few industries in particular, I spent a lot of time with healthcare and life sciences today. And so typically we see a lot of AI and machine learning used for scanning medical imaging and providing decision support to clinicians on the field who are directly treating patients. We see machine learning used for drug discovery. In manufacturing, we see machine learning used for optimizing safety, optimizing processes, optimizing supply chains. In financial services, we see machine learning used for fraud detection, for document processing, real-time decisions for transactions that are in flight. In retail, we see machine learning used for optimizing customer experiences, predicting demand, predicting fraud, personalizing recommendations. And the same goes for media entertainment itself as well. Content curation, even things like adding subtitles to videos, recommending content, people who watch this video like to watch this video too, and so forth. So across industries, we're really finding that there is no enterprise that cannot benefit from one aspect of machine learning or another. Our mission at AWS is to really enable builders of all skill levels, both technical and non-technical, to be able to bring the benefits of machine learning into their day-to-day work. And let me give you an example of what that may look like. You may have a mobile app that you put in the hands of your customers. That app may do various things, but what if you could add the ability for customers to talk to your app and just have a conversation with your app? Maybe you want that app to understand its environment. Maybe you want your customer to be able to take pictures of something and upload those pictures to you. I can't remember when was the last time I went to a bank to deposit a check. I never do that anymore. I have an app where I take a picture of the check with a mobile phone, and it uses machine learning to understand what the appropriate account numbers are, what the amount is, who it is I'm trying to pay, and I don't have to take that physical piece of paper to a bank anymore. So whatever line of business you are in, if you have either a customer-facing app or even a back office internal app, there are many ways in which you can use machine learning to kind of improve that general experience. You can take that mobile app, for example, and simply through invoking an API, you can have it do those intelligent things that up until very recently, only a human being could do. It could be having a conversation, speaking audio, or listening to a prompt from somebody, converting audio to text. It could be analyzing an image or a video stream. It could be analyzing a picture. So all of these capabilities are available to you today through the point of an API. You don't need to be necessarily a data scientist. You don't need to be a machine learning expert. You don't need to invest millions of dollars upfront to learn how to do machine learning from scratch. You simply invoke an API and that intelligence comes to you. So let me give you some examples of what those APIs can do. Amazon Rekognition is a deep learning based image and video analysis service, and it's used for many, many things. Many use cases across the world today, across our customer base. Customers use it for identifying things that are in pictures that their customers send to them. They use it for content moderation, for identifying text in pictures. For example, you could use it to create a number plate reader. We had customers who deployed video cameras during COVID for workplace safety, and they would look for instances of workers not wearing the right PPE, for example. It's used for facial detection. We see a lot. We see it being integrated with security cameras now. We see companies actually using the human face as a way of identifying someone. For example, in the developing world, a lot of people don't have social security numbers or driver's licenses. So how do you give them banking services? Well, we have a customer that's using recognition and facial identity to help people log in without any other forms of identity. So you can verify that that person is the person who set up that account, and so forth. And the same applies to video as well. And again, you don't need to be a machine learning expert to do these really intelligent things. You simply invoke an API, send an image or a video stream, and Rekognition returns the results for you. And so again, here are some of the use cases that we most commonly see Rekognition being used for. I mentioned PPE detection. It's very often commonly used for cameras to automate workplace safety monitoring and security monitoring. It's used for identity verification. C-SPAN, for example, is one of our customers, and they had a phenomenal amount of video content that wasn't indexed in any way. So they used Rekognition to index their entire video library in about 2 weeks. So now you can go online to C-SPAN and say, hey, show me video of when the president was talking about the economy, and it automatically surfaced the right video for you. And all of that was done with Rekognition. One of the customers that uses Rekognition is Yelp. Yelp may well be a service that you have on your phone. It's a very, very popular app, and they use Rekognition to understand what are all of the pictures that users are uploading around the products and services that they're using and reviewing on Yelp. They want to do content moderation. They want to understand what kind of things are in those pictures. Is it relevant to the review or not? And so forth. And rather than investing a lot of money in learning machine learning upfront, they just simply invoked an API and were able to add that intelligence to their application. The next two services I'd like to talk about are Comprehend and Translate. These are very commonly used by enterprises for understanding what is in written text and also translating between languages. Many customers have to deal with unstructured natural language text. You may be dealing with emails into your help desk. You may be trying to analyze social media. Maybe people are tweeting about your product or service. Well, you could manually review those things, but what if you could have an API and a machine learning service automatically review and categorize those things for you? That's exactly what Comprehend does. It will do things like sentiment analysis. Is this text positive? Is it negative? Is there any personally identified information in it? Does it contain somebody's social security number or driver's license? Does it refer to a place or a service or a product or a celebrity? So it does entity recognition for you, and so forth. So it takes really unstructured natural language text in the way that, I might write a letter to you, but it programmatically understands it and gives you a JSON response back so you can decide how to act on it. Maybe if it's an email, you send it to a specific team that's responsible for dealing with really upset customers or really happy customers or customers that are asking about a specific type of issue. Comprehend can help you categorize those, for example, and provide greater automation in that workflow of dealing with the unstructured text. So very commonly, we see customers use it for intelligent document processing, automation of email workflows, routing customer support tickets, even real-time analysis of a conversation when somebody calls my call center. It can do all of those things as well. And again, through the point of an API. Amazon Translate does exactly what it says on the tin. It helps you translate between one language and another. One of the advantages of using a cloud like AWS is if you launch a new product or service, you can go global really quickly. If you're really successful in the US, you can deploy it to Latin America, you can deploy to Europe or Asia Pacific very, very quickly. But what if you're trying to understand and have that natural, intimate conversation with your customers, but you don't speak their language? Maybe you don't speak Portuguese, or you don't speak Japanese. Well, you can use Translate to automate that and provide bilingual communications to your customers wherever they are on the globe. And so that's what Translate does. And very often, customers will combine these services together. For example, they'll use Translate with text to speech, or they use Translate with Comprehend. So now they're getting extra value by not only doing intelligent text analysis, but also doing it in a whole variety of different languages. So it allows you kind of localize your product and service across the globe, really interact with your customers at scale, and do analytics no matter what language your customers naturally speak. Textract is another service. A lot of industries are still very paper-based or very forms-based. Financial services, for example. A lot of people still get paper W-2s, insurance, healthcare. There's a lot of paper forms there. Textract is a service which does really, for want of a better description, intelligent OCR. It will ingest a document and it will understand columns of text. It will understand tables, it will understand fields, and it will give you a structured JSON output of key value pairs. So it will allow you to kind of programmatically ingest documents, even if the format changes. For example, a W-2, every different company has its own format for a W-2, but Textract uses deep learning to understand the vast majority of them. So you don't have to worry about that. You just give an image to Textract and it will give you a structure with all of the data and text that is in there. And again, no machine learning is required. So Amazon, one of Amazon's customers is Anthem. Anthem is a health insurance company, and they use Textract to automate their claims billing process. So they do that at great scale. They have about 40 million members, and about 80% of their claims processing is now automated using Textract, and they hope to increase it up to 90%. So phenomenal operational expense reduction and efficiencies by using intelligence at the point of an API. Amazon Polly and Transcribe are our text-to-speech and speech-to-text services. Think of any customer experience, whether it's through a mobile app, whether it's through an enterprise workflow, or even through an IoT device. You could have a natural voice-driven conversation with your end customers without having to build machine learning models from scratch. So it does text-to-speech. It uses SSML, or the speech synthesis markup language. And what that means is you can add natural pauses and breaths and intonations such that you can really create a brand voice for your product experience. If you're familiar with Siri, for example, or Alexa, you can create your own version as well using Poly simply through the point of an API. So through your entire marketing communication, through your call center experience, your mobile app experience, you can have a consistent conversational voice experience with your customers as well. And this goes way back to what I said at the beginning. If you have 1 million customers or more, can you still have a really intimate conversation with them? Can you feel like they're talking to almost a human being as opposed to being spammed by communication? And so Poly goes a long way to that. Here's where customers are using Poly today. So they're using it for real-time call agent analytics and assistance. So real-time, supporting a call agent live during a call, real-time closed captioning of content, voice-driven search and discovery, transcription in real time of conversations that are happening in a room, dictation, if you want a customer to dictate to your app, transcribe will be what you need, and so forth. So there's many use cases that we're seeing being used today for these capabilities. Here you see just a small snapshot of these. I'll call out a couple of these. USA Today, if you opt to listen to their news articles rather than read them, that comes from Transcribe. If you are a customer using Duolingo, Duolingo is a platform you use to learn a new language. So they use Amazon Translate under the hood to translate between different languages. Mapbox is a service that gives you real-time navigational directions, and they speak to their end users using these services as well. Now, if you offer more than one product or more than one thing to your end customers, very often you may wish to kind of personalize that experience. So if you're an e-commerce website, or if you are offering media content, maybe movies or videos or whatever the case may be, you can actually kind of personalize and make recommendations to your users through the point of an API as well. This is something we've invested a great deal internally at Amazon.com because we use it in our own business, and we surface this to our customers through Amazon Personalize. So in Amazon Personalize, you would essentially upload your customers' profiles, their past behavior, maybe historical purchases, their clickstream behavior, and so forth. And what Personalize does is it builds a machine learning model for you without you having to know anything about machine learning. And it gives you your own API that you can use to personalize your customer's experience. So whether you're recommending movies or whether you're recommending products for purchase, Personalize allows you to build that really kind of intimate, more sophisticated customer experience. One of our customers is Discovery. They have discovered the Discovery Plus streaming platform. They host Discovery Channel, Food Network, HDTV, and they use Personalize to really kind of personalize content recommendations for their customers at scale. And again, you don't need to be a machine learning expert. This is done at the point of an API. Very often, enterprises need to forecast things. They need to kind of peek into the future and make critical business decisions. At Amazon, we do a lot of this. We need to know what should we be restocking in a particular warehouse at any one point in time, what kind of sales should we be expecting, and so forth. In the past, we used very crude statistical methods to do this. We use rule-based methods. More recently, we started using machine learning, and now we use deep learning. And now we've been so good at that we actually packaged it up into a service that you can use today. So if you look at the Amazon forecasting problem, we have a huge e-commerce website, and we have to think about regional demand, not just national demand. For example, in the Northeast, there are different product buying behaviors as opposed to the Southwest in the United States. There are seasonal patterns, there are holidays, there are weather changes. Right now, we're approaching winter here in the Northeast. There are relationships between products as well. So if you purchase baby wipes, for example, maybe those people tend to also buy diapers as well. There are different other kind of things that affect that guide how you predict what people are going to do or what's going to happen at some point in the future. So Amazon Forecast is a way for you to kind of get those same quality of recommendations yourself. Similar to Personalize, you upload your own kind of domain data. It may be your customer profiles, customer purchasing history, historical data from your enterprise. weather patterns that are relevant to you, all of these kind of third-party sources of data you can bring to forecast. You define what it is you're trying to predict, and it produces a set of models for you, and it makes them available to you from your own APIs. They're not general APIs, they're specific to you. And then you can get that same kind of quality of Amazon forecasting within your own business as well.
Hey, Mamoon?
Yes.
We've got a few minutes left just because there's so much great content. And so I just want to make you aware of that, though.
Thank you very much. So let me talk very fast because I'm almost at the end of my presentation. Amazon Fraud Detector is another service because very often customers need to identify fraud and handle fraud, and they need to do it in real time. So think about any business that has to take payments and handle the possibility of stolen credit cards or stolen information. Maybe people create fake accounts or fake reviews, or even abuse loyalty promotions. One of our customers is Qantas Airlines, and they use Amazon's fraud detector for preventing loyalty abuse. Account takeovers as well, suspicious behavior. Are any of these risks to your business? If so, how are you managing those in real time? Amazon Fraud Detector is another service at the point of an API. You can kind of build those intelligent machine learning predictions into your enterprise workflows and into your enterprise applications. Omnex is a company that had to manually review about 10% of their customer transactions. They operate a number of e-commerce websites. They brought that 10% down to 1% because they were able to use Fraud Detector to detect fraudulent transactions the majority of the time. Moving ahead, Amazon, my website has frozen. There we go. So Amazon Lex is a service for building conversational experiences for your end customers. So think about a chatbot experience. I may be a hotel booking website where if I want people to use their natural voice to have a conversation with me to book a hotel, I may want, hey, a date, a city, and maybe a time range. Lex will automatically have a conversation with my customers. It may be in a mobile app like you see here. It may be over a phone conversation. I could literally have people call a phone number and have a conversation with Lex. It could be over text message. It could be over IM. Lex gives you a chatbot that you can use in multiple modalities. And it's very easy to build new chatbots. In fact, Lex can understand prior conversations and build a chatbot for you. So there's many things that you can do with Lex. It's incredibly flexible. And indeed, you don't need to be a machine learning expert to be able to have that. So you can build a chatbot and deploy it across millions and millions of customers, again, to help them feel like you have an intimate relationship with them. Ryanair is a budget airline based in Europe, very popular airline, and they use Lex to have intimate conversations with their customers. So now if my flight gets canceled and I call up, it will automatically say, hey, Mamoon, thanks for calling Ryanair. I know your flight got canceled. Would you like me to rebook you in another flight? That's a so much better experience than if I have to wait 20 minutes, waiting to talk to a human being, and then they have to look up my flight number and all of those things as well. And again, these are all machine learning capabilities that are available to you at the point of an API. So how do you get started? These are available for you today. It's not something you have to invest millions of dollars in. It's not something that you have to particularly learn a lot about machine learning in. We have AI service demos that you can try right now. You can go to AI service demos at goaws.com. And there is a website there where you can play with these right now. So for example, what you see on the right is a screenshot of me playing with Comprehend and having Comprehend try to analyze some unstructured text. If you create an account in AWS, you can go directly to the console and begin invoking these services today. In a few lines of Java or a few lines of Python or whatever your favorite language is, you can begin calling these APIs and adding intelligent capabilities to your applications and to your enterprise workflows.
Mamoon,
Yes.
that was great.